All right, guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to shed some light on a big race that's coming up this weekend in Australia. It is the biggest race in Australia. It is the Knoxville Nationals of Australia. It is the 51st edition of the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, or just the Classic as they call it down there, taking place at the Premier Speedway in Warrnambool, Victoria, Australia, a quarter-mile facility there. And I've heard that as far as a facility goes, it is like top of the line, top notch. It's like the Perth Motorplex of Eastern Australia, as far as I've been told. I am not an expert by any means, but I'm just letting you know what I've heard. I know there's going to be a lot of Australia people probably watching this video that can fill us in down in the comment section below if that is the case. And it's a big week. I mean, it's not just this race. Last night, Ryan Newton won at Avalon Raceway in Lara, Victoria, Australia. And all those drivers are racing tonight, already tomorrow in Australia at the Borderline Speedway in Mount Gambier, South Australia. And then all those teams will head over here to this race, which will take place on Friday, January 24th, and then Saturday, and then finish it off on Sunday, the 26th. So if you want to watch this, you've got all weekend to sit back and enjoy it. It's going to pay $40,000 Australian to win, which equals to about $25,000 USD and $1,750 to start. The prelim nights all pay $10,000 to win as well. The car count, as far as I can find on the website, 84 drivers have entered, have nominated, as they call it over there, and you had to have been nominated before Monday. So that's going to be locked in right there. 84 cars are going to the Classic. And if you want to watch this, it's going to be on clayperview.com. I think that's what it is. But it's not on Dirt Vision, not on Flow. You have to get Clayperview. If you'd like to stay up late and you're in America, this is the race for you, because they are racing very, very early in the morning. And Clayperview, from what I have been told, provides a very, very good broadcast experience. So go check them out if you would like to watch this race. A brief overview of the format. On the prelim nights, it's split. The 84 car field is split in half. They'll run qualifying. They'll run 2 rounds of heat races. The first round of heats will be lined up straight off their qualifying times. The second round of heats, they will invert the field by 8. The fast qualifier will start outside of row number 4. And then after the qualifying, the heat races, and the feature on both nights, they will combine all the points together. The top 8 drivers will be locked into the feature on Sunday. And then on Sunday, they'll run more heat races. And the top 8 drivers from those heats, as far as the points go total, will then take up positions 9 through 16. And then they'll run Bs and Cs and all that other stuff to get the rest of the format, or get the rest of the lineup dialed in. So that's kind of a brief overview of the split field prelim nights, as well as the finale on Sunday. Now, looking at the last 10 winners of this event, of the Classic, 2024, you had Aaron Reitzel get the win. Big win for him. I remember he was very excited about that one. 2023, it was Brock Howlett. 2022, it was Locky McHugh. 2020, they did not run the race in 21 due to COVID, but it was McFadden in 2020, Robbie Farr in 2019, 2018, it was Corey McCullough, 2017, it was McFadden again, 2016, Jamie Veal, 2015, Kyle Hurst, a little West Coast flavor there, getting the win, along with Tim Kading in 2014. So a pretty big variety of drivers winning that race, Americans, Western Australian, Eastern Australia guys as well. So very cool to see that. We'll see if we can add another new winner to this event in 2024. And I think there's a very good case for that to happen here this year. And I'm going to give you my top 10. It's not just my opinion. I've got a couple of industry friends that have also voiced their opinions on who they think could potentially be in the top 10 as far as the best contenders to win this race. And there's going to be some names that we just talked about over here that are on this list, but there's also a couple that are not going to be on that list. And I'm going to start at the bottom with a couple of guys who are going to be long shots. And there's going to be some people in the comments from Australia that think, man, what the hell is this guy talking about? Chase Rodman doesn't know anything about Australian sprint car racing. You would be correct unless it's in Western Australia, which I have a decent idea. But Eastern, I'm still trying to learn, guys. But here's what I've gotten after talking to my industry friends, after doing some research on some of these guys. I'm going to start off with like 3 long shots. The first one is going to be, make sure I get his name right, Daniel Pestka. Pestka, that's what I'm going with. Daniel Pestka, he is a long shot to win the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, and a lot of people probably just turned the video off. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But looking at what he's been able to do recently, he was 7th at the last Premier Speedway race, the Sprint Carnival event. He has 3 top 10s during the Speed Week they just had here recently. He won Max's race, which is a huge race at Premier on December 14th. And in 2015, he was 9th during the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. So it looks like that, PESA's been around for a long time, but it doesn't seem like he's had good results over the last couple of years. But here, over the last 2 months, he has really put it together and has been running very, very well. According to some of my industry friends that I've talked to, they are very high on Daniel Pesca to see if he can put together a good run at the Classic. Now, another guy that is a long shot here, from what I have been told, he's been very good recently. It's Jordan Ray, or as my friend told me, Jordy Ray. I'm not sure what number he is, but he's a guy to watch for. Last year, he did not qualify for the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic main event, but he was second during the Speed Week event there at Premier Speedway here just recently. He was fourth during the Sprint Carnival event last week. He is definitely a long shot, but here he has been very, very fast as of recently, running very well. And I mean, like I said, it's a long shot for him to win this race, but would not be shocked at all from the look at these stats and what my friends have been telling me if he was able to run top 10 during the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. Jordan Ray at number 9 on my list. And now number 8 is a name that the Americans will be familiar with. And also, I would say a long shot for this one, but Chase Randall. So Chase Randall in the USA number 9 car. He was 11th during Speed Week at the Premier Speedway. He was second last year on a Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic prelim night. He ended up running 18th in the finale race, which wasn't very good, but he was a winner down there in Australia on January 3rd at the Simpson Speedway. And so it looks like maybe they're turning things around with that car. Chase Randall, we know how good of a driver he is, made the Knoxville Nationals this year. Don't be surprised if you see him end up inside the top 10 at the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, or if things go his way, maybe he could sneak up there onto the podium and challenge for a win. Now, these next couple of guys are all drivers that, from what I have been told, should be in contention to win this race on Sunday and get possibly for some of them the biggest win of their career. Jock Goodyer has got to be one of them. A lot of Americans know this guy after he came over this year to run for Paul Silva on the West Coast with High Limit and the Outlaws. Last year, he was 5th during the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. He was 5th at the Sprint Carnival last weekend. He did get a Premier Speedway win on November 2nd of this season. He also got a big win at that Adelaide dirt track race on November 14th. And he is the former A1, the former Australian 1 sprint car, which means he won the Australian Sprint Car Championship. And so Jock Goodyer, he was a little bit off the pace at the High Limit International event, but he's going back to a track that he knows very well on his side of the country. So Jock Goodyer is my number 7 guy on this list to maybe win the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. Now, number 6 on the list is a guy that has won it before. He's been around a long time. And it's Jamie Veal. Jamie Veal, the 2016, as we saw right there, Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic winner. He was 17th at the Sprint Carnival. Not sure if he got into an incident there, but not a very good finish for him there. But he was 4th during this event in 2024. He's a 5-time winner in Australia during this season for, the wintertime, the summertime in Australia season. He also, let's see here on my list, he was also a Speed Week winner this year at Premier Speedway, and he was a 360 winner there as well a few weeks back. And he's a 17-time Premier Speedway winner. So he knows his way around this racetrack very, very well. And a lot of people are familiar with Jamie Veal. He could be a guy to watch for as far as the win goes at this event on Sunday the 26th. Now, moving into the top 5, and a guy that's not on our former winners list here on my left, but he's won it 3 times, including those 3 in a row between 2004 and 2007, I believe. Carrie Madson driving that number 26 car. We saw him during High Limit International at Perth Motorplex. He, as I mentioned, 3-time winner of this event. He was 2nd during the Sprint Carnival. He got 2 wins so far in Western Australia driving this car. And he was the winner during that Adelaide race. That was the dirt track in the middle of the city. And he's also a 6-time winner at Premier Speedway. He's also got a ton of experience at the highest levels of sprint car racing. You got to have Carrie Madson. It looks like they have really put together some good speed here as of recently. So give me the Madman at number 5 on my list to potentially win the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. Now, number 4 is another former winner of this event. We saw him a little bit this year in the States. It's Brock Howlett. the 2023 Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic winner. He was third during the Sprint Carnival, the most recent Premier Speedway event. He was a winner at the Borderline Speedway, which is where they're racing at tonight, back on December 28th. He was second during last year's Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, and he's a two-time winner in his career at the Premier Speedway. I got to watch Brock Howlett a little bit this year in the States, and I was very impressed for, not having a ton of experience over here on this side of the world. But man, you can't deny the numbers that he's put together here as of recently. It looks like definitely a contender for the win when it comes to the finale on Sunday, January 26th. Now, moving into the top three, you've got to have the A1 on there, the Australia 1, and it is Locky McHugh in car number A1. Locky, he won this event back in 2022. He was 14th at the Sprint Carnival event, so not very good there. But don't let that, don't let that bring him down. He has 6 wins during this season out there in Australia, including 3 different racetracks. And one of the wins on January 4th, he went from 20th to the win at Toowoomba. He was also third in this event in 2024. Locky McHugh, if he's not in your top 5, then you don't know what you're talking about. I'm still learning what I'm talking about with this type of stuff, but I can tell you right now, Locky McHugh is definitely a guy that is going to be in contention to win this race, including our next 2 drivers. At number 2 on the list is going to be the one that everybody knows, and it's James McFadden, 2-time Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic winner in his career. He already has 5 wins in this Team Brady 23X after just putting the team together in the last 3 or 4 months. They almost swept the entire weekend at Perth Motorplex with High Limit Racing. He was 6th during the Sprint Carnival event a few weeks back, and then he was 20th last year, but that was a different car at the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic last season for McFadden. So not a very good finish, but he's in a new car, and we've already seen how quick they were. He just had probably the best season of his entire career in the States this year with High Limit Racing. McFadden has all of the momentum on his side. He is very, very fast, and I think that if the number 1 guy does not win, then the number 2 guy is going to win, and that would be McFadden. Now, let's get into number 1, and this could be controversial, but he has been unbelievable over the last couple of weeks down there in the Australian country. I'm going to go with Cole Macedo. The guys that I have all talked to, they said he has been so fast. He's been unbelievable. He's driving that Dyson Racing 99 after his brother got hurt his leg and all that stuff. They had to find somebody else to run the car. And Cole Macedo, so far, driving that car, just knocked something over, has been unbelievable. He's run 3 races in a row. From what I could find, driving that machine. He won on the 19th during that Sprint Car Carnival night. A ton of cars showed up. He won. He's been very good in the past. He was 7th during the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic the last time he was there in 2023. That was driving a different car. We saw how fast he was in Western Australia driving Trent Pigden's number 7, a car he'd never seen before, never ran that track before. And he was up there in the top 5 a bunch of times, started on the front row of a couple of main events. So Cole Macedo, I think it's hard to deny that he is one of the best cars down in Australia right now. He's in one of the best cars, no doubt about that. Might be one of the best drivers showing up to Premier Speedway this weekend as well. So let me know your thoughts. I'm sure a lot of Australian people are watching this and they're thinking, what the hell is this list? It's horrible. Crikey, mate, what are you talking about? But let me know who is your top 10 to win the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. Hopefully, after this video, a couple of you guys decide to watch on Clay-Per-View and check it out. I know I'll be trying to, but that's way past my bedtime. We'll have to wait and see if I'm able to watch. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching my channel. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit like, comment down below, and we'll talk to you guys again here soon on the Rodman Rundown.